Hello, this is Whitney from the Northland Library Computer Center. You may remember that we used to offer in-person computer classes on topics such as Microsoft Word Basics, Microsoft Excel Basics, and Introduction to Cloud Computing. We are currently unable to provide in-person computer classes, but we can bring the same class content to you in video format so that you can learn from the comfort of your own home. During this video class, you will get the opportunity to practice your Microsoft Word skills by making changes to an existing Word document. More specifically, you will make changes to a basic Word document like this and transform it into a professional-looking document like this. Before we begin working with the document together, I would like to note that if you are going to use this video to get hands-on practice with Word, you will need Microsoft Word installed on your device, and you will need to use some basic typing and mouse skills such as left-clicking and dragging to select text, create new lines of text by pressing the Enter key, and left-clicking inside an object before physically dragging it to a different part of the screen. To get a better idea of which Word features we will use during the class, here is the class agenda. We will open up Microsoft Word and the existing document. We will review options on the Word screen before we get started, and that includes the Quick Access toolbar. We will learn how to change text and do things like bolding text and adding bullets. We will learn how to do some things as you progress with your work, such as zooming in and saving. You will learn some time-saving methods, such as copying and pasting and inserting date and time. You will make changes to the entire document, such as altering page margins and doing a spelling and grammar check. You will add visual elements, such as pictures, and then do things to make the pictures look presentable. You will add objects such as text boxes, and you will finish up the document and make it presentable by learning how to print, save as PDF, and learn how to get help within Word. If you are ready to begin, please click the shortened bit.ly link in the video description below the video title. Clicking the link will download and open the practice document that we will use during this class. Once you access the practice document, please follow along with me as we go through the steps to make it look more professional. When you click the link to the Word document and open it up, the document may appear in a PDF format instead of in a Word format. So the next step is to learn how to set up the document so that you can use it for the hands-on practice. After you click the link to the practice document, it may open in a PDF reader like this. We cannot make changes to the text when it is a PDF document, so we are going to have to select the text and then copy and paste it into Word so that we can make changes to it. The first thing we're going to do is select the text by highlighting. One way to do that is to click and drag and hold your mouse button down so that all the text is highlighted in blue. Once the text is highlighted, move up to the Edit menu, left click, and then left click the Copy option. After you click Copy, you're going to open up Microsoft Word on your device. One way to do that on a Windows 10 device is to go down to the search box, the magnifying glass, type Word in the box, and when the program name appears in the list, like it does here, left click on it. There's many ways to open up a new document. We're going to choose this first option, the blank document. Left click on blank document, and then go here to the paste clipboard underneath the word file, which is in the top left corner. Left click right on the clipboard, and that will paste the copied text from the PDF into Microsoft Word. We just reviewed how to open Word for the first time and create a new document so that we could copy our text into it. Next, we will review how to open an existing document. To open an existing document that you've already created, click on the word File in the top left corner, and then click the word Open in the list. And then you will choose the location where the document is, whether it's on the OneDrive, which is the online Microsoft storage, or somewhere on the computer. To find something on the computer, we'll just click Browse and make sure we're in the correct folder, which in this case is Documents. And then if I find the document that I would like, I would left click on the document so that it's highlighted in blue, and then click the word Open at the bottom of the box. And that will open an existing document on top of the new document. Next, before we begin working with the text, we are going to review the main parts of the Word screen, such as where to find certain commands and actions, and learn how to customize the Quick Access toolbar. Before we start working with the text, let's familiarize ourselves with the parts of the Word screen. The main part of the top of the screen is called the ribbon, and that includes all of the commands, actions, and things you can do with Word to change your text. Right now, we are clicking on the Home tab, and that includes a lot of the frequently used commands. If you were to click on any of the other tabs to the right, such as Insert, you can see a new ribbon appears with additional commands and actions. I'm going to click back on Home to return there. Then to the left of the Home tab, there is the File menu. If you click the word File, you can see a list of options on your screen of things that you can do with your document when you're done. To get out of the File menu and return to the main Word screen, click the white arrow in the top left corner. Above the File menu and the ribbon with tabs, you will see the Quick Access toolbar. And these are commands that you can use frequently so that you don't have to find them in the ribbon. You would just click on the option and it'll do something really quickly. Right now, if you hover over the commands already there, just place your mouse arrow on top. You see Save, Undo, Redo, and then there's an arrow that you can click on to add more options to the list. Let's say I'd like to make it easy to print and look at the preview without having to go to the File menu first. So I can see that option in the list and left click on it. And now the Quick Access command appears on the toolbar. If you click back on the arrow and see that there are things in the list that are not there but you want to add, you could click at this More Commands option, and then you can choose from a list of options. You can choose an option from the list on the left, click Add, and then click OK to save it to the Quick Access toolbar. Since I'm not going to add anything from this bigger list, I will click Cancel to return to my screen. Also, at the bottom of the screen, there's some other options. You can see how many pages there are to the document, how many words there are. There's a quick way to check for spelling and grammar here. Then if we move to the bottom right, you can see these are page views. If you hover over, you can see what they are: Read Mode, Print Layout, and Web Layout. For the purposes of our document, we will keep it here at Print Layout so we can see all parts of the screen. And then lastly, there is the zoom level, if you need to move in and out of the page to see certain things better. During the next part of the lesson, we will go through different ways of making changes to the text of the letter so that it goes from basic to professional, and go through repeated tasks that you will use during your work. Let's start making changes to the text. First, we are going to focus on the top 3 lines of text. In order not to be distracted by the rest of the letter below it, we are going to use the zoom in feature in the lower right corner. One way to zoom in is to move the mouse to the plus sign and then left click it so that it moves up 10% at a time. I'm going to keep clicking the plus sign until it reaches 170%. Then I would like to make a change just to the name of the sender here. So I'm going to click and drag so that the sender's name is highlighted. After I let go of the highlight, a group of commands appears. This is called the mini toolbar, and it gives some convenient text changing options right above the highlight so that we don't have to search above in the ribbon for these same commands. I would like to make the name bold, so I'm going to put my mouse over the B for bold and left click it once. Then I'm going to left click away from the text to remove the highlight. Now I would like to make some changes to the 3 lines together. So I'm going to highlight, click and drag the 3 lines, and wait for that mini toolbar to appear. The first thing I'm going to do is make the text a little bit bigger so that it stands out from the rest of the letter. To do that, I'm going to move over to this A next to the number 11 and click it 1 time, and that moves up the text size 1 point. Next, I'm going to change the line spacing, the space between each line of text, so that it is easier to read. I'm not going to use the mini toolbar for that. I'm going to move up to the line spacing option, which is in this paragraph grouping on the ribbon, and it's this option with the 2 blue lines, blue arrows, and then the lines next to it. I'm going to left click on that option and get a drop-down menu with options to choose from. Right now it's at single spacing, which is 1.0. I would like to create a little bit more space, so I will click 1.15. After I left click 1.15, it changes the space between those 3 lines of text. Then I'm going to left click away from the text to remove the highlight. And once you're done making some changes to the text, it's always a good idea to save your work so that you don't lose it in the future. Since this is the first time we are saving something, this is a new document, we are going to use File, the File option in the top left corner, click on it, and then left click Save As. First, we're going to choose a place for the document. I'm going to go here and click the Documents folder on the right. And then I'm going to type in a name for the document so that I can find it later. So I'll click in the file name box and type the word letter on top. Finally, I will left click the Save button at the bottom. And you can see the name of the document changed from Document 1 to Letter. So now all of the changes have been saved. Next, we are going to make some changes to the recipient name. To do that, we are going to click and drag and highlight the name and wait for that quick access toolbar to come up. And I'm going to make it look like the sender name by bolding it. So I'll click the B again and then left click to get rid of the highlight. We're going to make a change to the recipient name portion. So let's highlight recipient name. First, in the mini toolbar, we are going to get rid of the bold on the highlighted text. So click the B to remove the bold. And since the text is already highlighted, we could make a change to it by typing the name Elizabeth instead. So whatever text you type will go on top of whatever text is selected. After we're done making that change, we're going to move back down to the zoom level, and instead of clicking on the plus sign, we're going to left click on the minus sign to zoom back out to 100% so that we can work on the rest of the letter. Next, in order to make the body of the letter easier to read, we are going to make some changes. First, we're going to click after the word items and press the Enter key to create some more space. Next, we are going to highlight starting from We Welcome to Obligation or Charge. So we're going to select that text and change the line spacing so that it is easier to read. Let's move back up to the line spacing option, and this time press 1.15 to get a little bit more space between each line of text. Once again, it's a good idea to save your changes as you move along so you don't lose it. This time, we're going to save changes to the existing letter by moving up to the Save option, which is above the word File in the left corner. So click the Save square to save your changes. Next, we're going to work with these two lines that don't match up with the rest of the letter, and we're going to make these two lines stand out by adding some bullet points. So you can add bullet points to professional letters as long as the text on the lines is kept very short and it doesn't distract from the rest of the content. The easiest way to work with bullet points is to type out your text first, separating each section of text with an enter. So put each text on a separate line like this. We've got two lines of text that we want to add bullet points to. After you type out your text that you want to add bullets to, then you can select the lines where you want to add the bullets. In this case, it'll be these two lines. And you'll go back to the mini toolbar. The bullet option is next to the font color option. So click on the option that has the 3 bullet points on it, and it will add regular bullet points to the letter. Next, I'm going to show you some options that you can use in Word to help you save time when you're working on a long document. There are a few options in Word that you can use to help save you time so that you don't have to type repeated text over and over. For example, in this letter, there are 2 instances of this phrase appearing. Please feel free to, here and here. Let's say I'd like to make a change to both phrases without having to click and type over them one at a time. I can use the Replace option. To find the Replace option, I'll go up to the right side of this Home tab and click Replace. The phrase I would like to replace is please feel free to, so make sure to type that in the box. And then I'd like to simplify that phrase and just use the word please, so I'll type that in the box. Next, since there is more than one instance of that phrase appearing, I'm going to choose Replace All. After that, Word tells me it replaced those options twice. Click OK, and then click Close to return to the document. And then you can see that now please feel free to is just please. The other thing you can do is use copy and paste to copy repeated text to more than one location in the document. For instance, we need to add the sender's name to the bottom of the letter, and we already have it listed up here at the top. So instead of clicking at the bottom and typing the text in, we can use copy and paste to add a copy of the name down here at the bottom. To use the copy and paste options, let's go to the top and select the sender's name. So click and drag to select it. Then go here to the left side of the Home tab and left click the Copy option. Next, move down to the bottom of the screen and click where you want the text to go. In this case, we want it to replace your name, so we'll highlight your name. And then move up to the Paste option And make sure to click the clipboard part right under the word file to get it done correctly. So click paste, and then the name appears in the correct place. One way to make the document look more professional is to add a signature line for the sender to sign before sending out the letter. And Word allows you to do that pretty simply. This time we're going to move to a new tab in the ribbon called the Insert tab. So you're going to move up to the top and click on the word Insert next to the Home tab, and then move all the way to the end of the ribbon to where it says Signature Line. Click on the Signature Line option and fill out the proper boxes. So we'll type in the sender's name, the suggested title, which we'll use their suggestion as manager, and then we will click to get rid of this check mark because we don't need it. Finally, click OK, and we'll have to scroll down a bit, and it added the signature line to the bottom of the letter. At this point, we no longer need the sender's name here at the bottom, so we'll make sure to click at the end of the sender's name and press the backspace bar because we will just use the signature line now. There is also an easy way to insert the current date into the letter. So we'll make sure to click where we want the date to go. And then right below the signature line option in the insert bar is date and time. Make sure to click date and time and choose the format that you want. I like the second option in the list, so I'll click the second option and then click OK. And once I do that, the date is automatically entered. And those are some features to help you save time when you're working with a long document. Moving on, we are going to look at some features that affect the entire document and not just the text that we select. If you move to the bottom of the letter, you can see that the signature line moved all the way down to a new page. If we would like the signature line to stay on the first page with the rest of the letter, we will have to make some changes to the page in order to make that happen. One thing we can do is change the margins so that there is less white space on the sides and top and bottom, and more room for the text to appear on the page. So to change the margins, we're going to move to a different tab. We'll click the Layout tab, and then the first option on the left is Margins. Left-click Margins, and it will give you a drop-down list of predefined margins for you to choose from. Right now, we're at Normal, but let's choose the option below, which is Narrow. So move your mouse to Narrow and left-click on it. And when you do that, decrease the amount of white space on all of the sides so that it made room for the signature line to appear on the first page. The last thing we are going to do to proof this document is to fix the spelling and grammar mistakes. The easiest way to do so is to move down to the bottom left corner of the screen, and to the right of the word count is an open book cover with an X. Left-click that open book cover to open the spelling and grammar check tool on the right side of your screen. Word will highlight the first mistake that it sees and then provide you with a list of potential corrections. In this first instance, where it wants to correct a formal last name, we are going to click Ignore and not make any changes to the name. This word is spelled incorrectly, and it gives you one option to change it to. It's the correct option, so instead of clicking Ignore, click the Change button. We want to change the abbreviation to include a period, so since this first option is correct and it's already highlighted, just left-click Change and Word will make that change. We will always ignore suggestions for changing formal names. In this instance, where the correct spelling of the word is not included in the list, you have to make the change manually on the screen. To do so, move to the highlighted word and then left-click in the word. In this case, I need to get rid of the extra letter H, so I'll press the backspace key to make the change. Then I'll move back to the right side of the screen and click the Resume button. You may forget to add a space between words when you type. Microsoft Word will find that and add the space for you, and then you can click Change. You may also have incorrect or missing punctuation that Word can identify and make the change for you. Or you may forget to capitalize the first letter of the first word of a sentence. Word can notice that too and provide you with an option to change. Once Word finds all of the spelling and grammar mistakes, you can click OK to close out of the tool. And you can notice that all of the red and blue squiggly lines are gone. Now that we are done working with the text of the letter, we are going to make the document stand out more and be more visually appealing by adding some design elements, such as pictures and text boxes. Now we are going to work on adding some visual elements to the letter to make it look more professional. The first thing we're going to do is add a picture header to the top of the page above the sender's name. Make sure to click where you want the picture to go, which would be above the sender's name in this case. Then click on the Insert tab, and we are going to choose the Online Pictures option. We're going to click in the Search Bing box and type the word header. Then press Enter to search. The nice thing about this feature is it only brings up images that are available for Creative Commons use, which means they don't have known copyright affiliations, which means they are free to use for your own use. So let's go down and find an appropriate header. We're going to click on the fifth option in the list, which is this shades of blue shape. So click on that picture and then left click the Insert button, and it appears at the top of the page. As soon as you insert a picture, you can see the picture comes with these bubbles, which indicate that you can move them to make changes to the picture. The other thing you can see is a new tab with ribbon options appeared called Picture Tools Format. And if you look all along the ribbon, you can see these are all different options you can use to make changes to the picture. The first thing we're going to do is crop the picture so that it is smaller and it can fit better on the page. So we're going to find the crop option on the right side of the ribbon and left click it once. And then those bubbles turn into what are called fill handles. In this case, we're going to click on the middle line in the bottom. When you move to the line, your mouse cursor turns into a T shape, which is a good sign. So once you see the T shape appear, you're going to click on your left mouse button, hold it down, and then physically drag up and move the handle up. The gray part indicates the part of the picture that is being deleted, and the colored part indicates the part of the picture that is remaining. Let's move it up past the point and then let go when you're done cropping. And then left click away from the picture to see the remainder. The next thing we want to do is move the header so that it fills up the top corners so there's no white space around it. But if you try and click and drag the picture, it won't move. So one thing you have to do is make a change to the picture in order to give it flexibility to move somewhere else on the page. We'll go back to the Picture Tools format, click on the Wrap Text option, and click on In Front of Text. So that will give the picture flexibility to move anywhere on the page. In this case, we'll have to move it up above the sender name, and we'll have to click and drag the bubbles out on the side, on both the left and the right side, in order to get it to fill up the white space. And I'm going to move the sender name down one line so that there is space now. Next, we are going to type the name of the company on top of the header picture. In order to do that, we need to insert a text box first. To insert a text box, click on the Insert tab next to Home, then move toward the right side of the ribbon and click Text Box. Then left-click the first option in the list, which is Simple Text Box. Once you choose a text box, you can see a new tab appears called Drawing Tools Format. These include all the different options that you can use to make changes to your text box. One thing we'll need to do is move the text box on top of the header toward the right corner. We have to wrap the text and make it movable on the screen though. Click Wrap Text, then click In Front of Text. Now you can move your mouse cursor towards any of the lines of the text box. Your mouse cursor will turn into 4 arrows. Then you're going to left click, hold your left mouse button down, and physically drag and move the text box toward the upper right corner of the header. Once it's positioned, you can let go. We don't want the text box to overlap onto the letter, so next we're going to click in the bottom middle bubble and left click and drag that up so the text box gets smaller and can fit inside the header. Now we would like to type our text into the text box. Left click anywhere inside the text box and then type your text. For instance, we are going to type C period, E period, S period, and then Inc. as the name of the company. But we would like that text to stand out on this big header. So let's highlight that text, and we're going to use the text option in the mini toolbar. Click on the A next to the number 11 and click until it reaches about 28 points. We're going to keep the text highlighted and make it look a little bit more stylized and colorful by using these word art styles. Let's choose the third option in the list, this light blue A. All you have to do is left click on it and it immediately changes the style of the text. Now we want to make changes to the text box itself and not the text, because we want the text to look like it is seamlessly typed on top of the header picture instead of being inserted in an object that's placed on top. So we're going to make changes to the text box itself. The first thing we're going to do is go here to Shape Styles and to Shape Fill. Click on Shape Fill and move down to the No Fill option. Left click on No Fill. That gets rid of the white background and makes the background transparent. The last thing we're going to do to the text box is get rid of the black outline of the text box so you can't see that there is a box there. To do that, go below Shape Fill to Shape Outline, left click on that, and then left click No Outline. And once you do that, you can left click away from the text box and you can see that the text looks like it's seamlessly typed on top of the header picture instead of being in a box. Now that we are done making changes to the letter, we are going to go through the steps that you can take to prepare the letter for sending and sharing with others. We finished making changes to the document and we are ready to send and share it. In this case, the sender needs to print out a copy of the letter so that he can physically sign it. To do so, he would need to print the letter out. And if you remember at the beginning of the lesson, I chose to add the shortcut to the printing up here in the Quick Access toolbar. So I'm going to click that Print Preview and Print option. It gives a preview of the document on the right and then different ways to print on the left. You can set up your printer, and then when you're ready to print, click the Print square on the left side of the page. Once you're done, click the white arrow to return to the home screen. Another thing that the sender can do if he doesn't want the letter to be saved as a Word document, there's a way to send it professionally as a PDF document, which is easy to send via email and have other people look at it and print it. So you can do that within Word by saving it. You would click on File and then the Save As option. You would choose where you want to save it. We will choose Documents. And this time under Save As Type, click inside that list and then click PDF. Then click Save at the bottom. And it provides a PDF copy of the document that is easy to send, share, and save. You can also use the option to send and share it online instead of printing. To do that, let's click back on the Word document. And there's two things you can do. You can click the Share option in the top right corner, or you can click the File menu again and click the Share option in the list. If you have a Microsoft account or an Outlook account, which is something that if you get a new Windows computer, they usually make you set that up, or if you have a professional Microsoft Office 365 account through your workplace, you can sign in to that account, and you have the option to save it to your online cloud storage or share it via email. If you need some assistance with Word, Word has a built-in help feature that you can use. To access that help feature, let's move out of the File menu by clicking on the white arrow, and then move next to the View tab to where it says Tell me what you want to do. If you left-click in that box, you can type in a word or a phrase to indicate anything that you would like to learn more about. For instance, if you want to review how to change the margins, you can type the word margins in the box, and if it comes up with the task that you want to do in the list below, you can left-click on it, and instead of having to go through each tab and each ribbon to find that option, it gives you a shortcut to that option. Congratulations on completing the process of creating a professional-looking document. Next, I'll provide you with some options that you can choose from if you would like more in-depth help or if you are not sure how you want to continue your learning. Thank you for following along with me during the review of some of the main features of Microsoft Word. If you would like more assistance with any of the features described in the video, please feel free to visit the following online resources on your own. To get official help from Microsoft Office, you can type support.microsoft.com, and once the page loads, you can click on the Word icon, and that will take you to the official help and learning page for Word, where they have topics you can click on, videos to view, and step-by-step instructions. If you prefer to review some of the basic and intermediate features in a more structured format similar to an in-person class, you can go to gcflearnfree.org. Once you get to that site, click on the Topics option in the upper right corner, find the Microsoft section, and click the version of Office that you would like to learn about. For example, 2016. You can choose the program tutorial that you would like, Word 2016 for example, and GCF Learn Free brings up a list of lessons, and it breaks up topics into lessons. To review a lesson, just click the title. It will provide you a practice document, some videos, step-by-step instructions for doing certain tasks, and even some chances to practice. If you would like to invest more time learning about Microsoft Word or to find material geared towards intermediate and advanced users, try using the Udemy database available through northlandlibrary.org. If you go to northlandlibrary.org, mouse over the eLibrary tab and then click County eLibrary. Then you can scroll down until you see the Udemy icon. Put your mouse within the icon and then click Go. Udemy will ask you to type in your library card number as well as sign in to your Microsoft or Gmail account. Once you do that, you have access to a bunch of learning tutorials. You can use the search box and type in a topic you are interested in learning about. You can narrow down your results here in the filters. And if you find a class that you would like to learn about, you can click on the title. And the learning page will give you a summary, description, a course review, and it will break down each lesson. The Computer Center staff can also help you. If you have more in-depth questions and would prefer to work with a Computer Center staff member, please contact us at 412-366-8100 extension 131 or email us at nplcomp@einetwork.net. We can work with you to schedule a one-on-one phone help session or provide you with information that may help you with your Microsoft Word questions. Thank you for watching and good luck with your online learning.